Hey everybody, this is Rob Smith at The Body Project, and today what I want to talk about is setting goals, creating some sort of challenge for yourself. But more importantly, what I want to talk about is the stories that we create in our heads. And so, as many of you know, I just celebrated a birthday, and I'm not getting any younger. And one of the things I came to the realization of is my body's changing. And whether it's positive or negative, it's an evaluation time around your birthday, especially as you get older, it's a little bit more self-reflection. And the story I had created in my head is I can't do the things physically that I used to be able to do. And even though I can do some things at a higher level physically, I wasn't able to do some of the things that I used to be able to do. And for some people, it's like, well, you're getting older. I never wanted to play the age card, and I never want to look at myself as someone who's getting older, therefore I can't do some of the things I used to be able to do. But I was doing it. And the interesting thing about it is, I think sometimes I'm a better coach or cheerleader for others, and I wasn't listening to my own advice. And so when it comes to the reality, my reality is I am getting older. And I can't do anything about getting older. And just like you can't do anything about getting older. But what we can do is change the aging process. So the reality is, from a hormonal perspective, as you age, your hormones are changing. I no longer produce the level of testosterone or growth hormone or DHEA, those anabolic hormones that I used to. So for me to build muscle is a lot harder, and for me to stay lean, it's a lot harder than it used to be, just like it is for others. So the story I had created in my head is, I'm just not going to be able to do the stuff that I used to at a high level. So at the beginning of the year, one of the things is I evaluated what some of my goals were. And it was I wanted to get leaner, but I also wanted to do some of the things physically that I did in my 20s. And one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to be able to lift. I used to be able to lift a 100-pound dumbbell over my head, and I used to strap 100 pounds on my waist and do a chin-up. Well, I couldn't do that anymore, and it was starting to bug me. And part of the reason it was bugging me is I was realizing that I was, in my eyes, letting myself go. And for some people, it's like, I'm okay getting older. I'm just gonna, slowly let Father Time run its course. But I want you to challenge yourself, because the one thing that we can do is we can change our strategy. So even though our bodies are changing and we can't do anything about the aging process, we can create a better strategy for aging. And so by doing the right types of exercise, by eating a specific way, and by getting proper rest, what we can do is we can change our bodies hormonally. And so this morning, what I did is I wanted to see if I could lift a 100-pound dumbbell, and to see if I could strap 100 pounds on my waist and do a chin-up. And I was able to do that. So over the course of the 4 months, I was able to get stronger and stronger and stronger so I could do that. So even though I'm getting older, I knew I had to change my strategy to be able to accomplish those things. So the thing what I want to know is, did you set a goal? Did you set some sort of physical goal for yourself this year? And if not, why not? I think it's important for us to challenge ourselves on a regular basis, but then also actually have a written plan for how we're going to accomplish that goal. And for a lot of us, what we do is we use the calendar, so i.e. New Year's resolutions. You're going to set a New Year's resolution to lose more weight, or actually maybe establish a better habit. Maybe it's to eat healthier. Maybe it's to stay away from sugar. Whatever that goal is, do you have a plan for that? So after you create your plan, I think it's important for you to really look at your plan, but even what comes before that is establishing your why. Why do you want to lose weight? Why, for me, why did I want to be able to, lift a heavier weight? Who cares, right? Well, for me, it was what it represented, that I could actually set a goal, a pretty challenging goal, and then actually create a plan to reach that goal. So we have to continue to push ourselves mentally and physically and not be so accepting of succumbing to Father Time. And remember, that's the story we create in our head. So what I want for you is for you to make sure you identify if there's a story in your head that needs to change. Maybe you come from a family, you're like, all my family's overweight, or I come from a family, we all got bad knees or bad shoulders or bad backs. It's a story in your head. What you have to do is remember, genetics load the gun, lifestyle pulls the trigger. So we have to change our strategies sometimes. There's nothing we can do about our genetics, but we can change the variables. So after we determine our why, then we can really lay out our plan. If you have enough compelling reasons why you need to take action, you're gonna take action. So for me, I had a child later on in life, and I didn't want to be the father who couldn't, do the things with my daughter at a high level because I wasn't physically able to do those things. And so a lot of times, she'll be playing and she'll be like, Dad, can you do this? Well, I want to be able to try and really kind of create not only that relationship with my daughter that, she always remembers that Dad always did stuff with her. But another thing too is I want her to understand that, sometimes we just have to push ourselves a little bit more, think outside the box, dream a bigger dream, and really do things that maybe get us outside of our comfort zone. And so a lot of times with my daughter, she gets me outside of my comfort zone, trying things, trying to keep up with her, but it also keeps me young. And that's one of the things that we need to do is continue to challenge ourselves, not only our mindset, but physically, to stay young. And the one thing I would challenge you is, when is today the right time to change your story? So think of a story you have in your head, whether that's, you have a tough time losing weight, or whether it's an orthopedic problem like a neck, a back, a shoulder, knees. Think of a story you might have in your head. You don't have the discipline to maybe stick with a program. It's just a story in your head. So think of the story you currently have in your head, and then how you're going to change that story to reach your goals. So again, there's nothing we can do about the aging process, but what we can control is the strategies. So make sure you write down, and actually please make a comment of maybe a story you've got in your head, or maybe a goal that you want to accomplish. I think it's important to always be around positive people, to be around positive things, and make sure that we're helping each other reach a higher level. So hopefully you got something out of this video. Determine first of all what it is you want to accomplish, what your challenge is, what goal you want to achieve, and then what are your compelling reasons for achieving that. Because I think what's really important is it starts in our mind. If our mind is actually starting to atrophy, it's starting to get weaker, we're starting to tell ourselves these negative stories, we're never going to be able to achieve those physical goals that we reach for ourselves. So go out, set a goal for yourself, determine what the challenge is, make a list of whys, and then please share it with others so we can all lift each other up. So until I see you tomorrow, go ahead and make it a great day. You certainly deserve it. And I look forward to hearing about all your new stories that you're creating and the new goals you're setting for yourself this year, and then make sure we're encouraging others to reach those goals. So we'll see you tomorrow.